Hey guys, welcome to the Men with Vision radio show, formerly known as the Day of Life.
That's right.
Got a weird new name, but hey, we're working with it. How's everybody? It's been a couple of weeks since we've been on. Been busy, Mike. Haywood, what you guys been up to? Let's catch up. What you been up to, guys? Well, Haywood over here's got his own
X's and O's.
Yeah, tell us about the X's and O's.
Yeah, X's and O's podcast show, Philadelphia Eagles football. You know, we losing bad, 3-4, but it's good. It's therapeutic to get on the mic and talk to a whole bunch of people who want to talk about Philadelphia Eagles football. So it's a great thing. Right. And plus, I'm streaming it live. Yeah, and especially I'm streaming it live on Facebook. So that's what's making it even more special.
Exactly. So, Mike, what's going on with you? It's been a couple of weeks.
Well, nothing is really going on. I went to one of my best friends' thing on Saturday, which was wonderful. If you didn't get a baby, boom, baby, boom. So it was a phenomenal Water Speak production, of course, and he was awesome. You know, and if you could just go back on the Facebook archives and hit Tom Waters, it'll pop up, right?
It will pop up.
It will pop up.
It will pop up. We did record some of the clips, not the whole thing, because for the people who paid, it wasn't fair to them.
Okay.
But we did record a little bits of it. But it was great. Thanks, Mike. It was absolutely.
It was great.
Boom, baby, boom. A message to the baby boomers.
Okay.
And I did that on Saturday morning down at the Adrian Theater. It was well received. The feedback was good. So much so that people are calling and asking me, I'm not going to do it again.
Oh,
so if you missed this go around, stay tuned, because coming up the first quarter of January. 2020, I'm going to do it again.
Okay.
Because it is a message to the baby boomers, letting people know who are 50 and over that we still have a lot of life left.
Okay.
So I was very pleased. Thank you to everybody that came out. It was very pleased. It was a good time. It was a good time.
I see you on the stage, and I was like, well, what? What is it, a motivation speak or,
Yeah.
or,
It
or,
really was.
or was he doing some acting up there?
Was he doing acting? No, it was really good. I mean, very received well by the people that were there and the people on Facebook.
Yeah.
Because, you know, a lot of times we as mature
Adults.
As mature adults, we seem to forget that we get to a certain age and that we don't have nothing to give. We feel like we don't have nothing to give.
Right.
And, you know, we feel like, you know, we have lived our lives and nobody wants to hear what we have to say. But that should be more important, that we're listening to mature people right now because of the state of our country, the state of our neighborhoods. Because it's a whole lot of wisdom from people who have went through struggles like this that help us through these times. Because I'm just gonna get right to the show.
Let's get to the show now.
Yeah. So the one thing that I really want to talk about is why are we out here shooting kids?
Yeah.
Why do we have so many guns and so many people who are shooting other people, but missing the people, shooting up cars, killing 2-year-old girls? Shooting up 11-month-old babies.
Yeah.
You know, what are we doing?
Going on?
What are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Right.
Because right now I don't know what to say or how to say it, but what are we doing?
And infamous words of Marvin Gaye, what's going on?
What's going on?
Yeah, what's going on?
It's sickening. I mean, you wake up, and I listen to KYW every morning. I'm a faithful listener. I'm plugged that. But I listen to them every morning, and every morning I hear something that makes me even more wants to pray for the state of our children. We got a child who's been missing for what? Over a month and a half.
A month and a half, that's right.
We got babies getting shot. We got every other day somebody on the street corner getting shot. You know, it's this spirit of violence in this country. Not just the spirit of violence in this country, but the spirit of violence in this world.
Exactly.
Because now we got the Kurds and the Turks fighting over there. And, you know, we got our Mr. Trump, because I'm not going to call him another thing. Mr. Trump don't know how to lead, so he got a whole doggone disaster over there in the Middle East. But it's all, but it seems like it's just a spirit of violence.
Violence.
It is. And we have fallen. I can't say I blame the president, but what I will say is that for somehow we've said this all along. People seem to feel since he got in office, it's okay to do and think and act in any kind of way. Because I don't buy the theory. We know that all police officers are not corrupt.
Yes.
We know that. But
that.
there are enough out there now who are doing some ridiculous things.
Yes.
There was an article about a young man. He helped this woman. She was on the ground. He was helping her, and the police came and harassed him like he did something to her.
Yeah.
And she trying to explain it to him. I'm like, why is it that every time it seems like you can't be in your house safe anymore? But a police call for them, the man goes in and shoots the woman right through her window. Never identifies herself as a police officer or anything. She's in her own home.
Playing a video game with her nephew.
And the front doors are open. Rather than go through the front doors and say, is anybody home, and identify yourself, he decides that I'm just going to shoot her.
Yeah.
And then tries to jump. And what bothers me even more is that he had the audacity to quit.
Yes.
Because when I said the audacity to quit, like he couldn't even stand the force, although they arrested him, he's out on $200,000 bail. I'm like, come on. You know, they killed the young, because you can't tell me that somebody that purposely killed the young boy who testified on behalf of the, police officer.
Now all of a sudden he was a credible witness.
All of a sudden,
he was a credible witness that he had drug dealer.
You driving through 3 states to buy drugs. You got to go through 3 states to come down to buy drugs from this guy who had no history of drug record at all.
Yeah.
The narrative that we're painting for people, and you see and you talk about the violence. Everybody's being impacted. Either you got the racial issues, then you got the president, the stuff going over in Syria. It says violence, hatred. And one of the keys is the fact that we're not unified in anything.
Nothing.
Everybody is dealing with their own separate issues. And unfortunately, it seems like the same people in America are the ones that are being impacted. But here's the funny thing, guys. What amazes me is that it seems that no matter how much we as African American and black men go through, we're always the first to forgive.
Yes.
Did you see it the other day?
Yeah.
You see it the other day?
It's like, listen, just like the woman who shot his brother, the police officer shot his brother, a young man goes over there and gives the woman a hug and tells her, I forgive you.
That's right.
And then we get a backlash from our people. Our people. And our people who call themselves, I'm going to say Christians, don't know their Bible.
Right, exactly.
Don't know the fact that, you know, when you give forgiveness, the Bible tells you to forgive people.
Right, exactly.
And so this person is doing one thing that God is encouraging us to do, even though the person shot his brother.
That's
We're
right.
not making that small.
No,
we're not
not at all.
dismissing that. But the fact that he went and hugged this woman,
that's right,
and told her, "I forgive you."
That's right.
That should be a big thing.
That's right.
You know, we should be talking about that.
That's right. That freed him.
Right.
That had nothing to do with her.
That's right.
He could go on. He's still hurting. He's still in pain. But he showed, and I posted it, he showed the love of Christ. And I'm so tired of everybody talking about the love of Christ, but when it's time to show it, we don't want to show it.
That's right.
And the backlash that came out from some well-known pastors amazed me. Don't get me wrong. The sentence that she got was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
10 years was a slap in the face for what she did.
I think that was more of the shock appeal that actually happened. And I think that's why a lot of the pastors did say things about it, because it got to be a certain level of fairness.
Yeah.
I understand that she was a police officer and all that, but when you take an innocent person's life, you gotta perform up to the badge.
Right, exactly.
She didn't perform up to the
No,
badge.
she did not.
So therefore, she should have got treated like a regular person.
She should have. But the comments that were made by some pastors, especially some well-known pastors, disturbed me. And I'm going to tell you why they disturbed me. Because you need to be able to separate the two.
Right.
They were two separate issues.
Yeah.
The fact that the sentence was wrong, then talk about that. But
Yeah.
don't pretty much call the boy
Uncle Tom.
a butt kisser
Yeah.
or Uncle Tom because he chose to forgive her.
Yeah.
You call yourself a man of God or a woman of God. You're preaching God's love, but now you're telling people that we can't forgive people.
Yeah.
That we got to be Uncle Toms. We got to be passive because Because first of all, here's the real deal. Everybody ain't forgiven.
Yeah,
that's
so
right.
a lot of people came up there and said they were better than him better than them because they wouldn't be able to do it. That young man is a rare young man because I'll be honest and tell you, I don't know if I could do what he did as soon as he did it.
Oh, yeah.
So therefore, the fairness of the law, the way that we want to talk down about he did something wrong, he did not do anything wrong.
I didn't see nothing wrong with what he did
But I
personally.
had a problem with the
judge.
I had a problem with the judge.
And a sorority sister of the police chief.
I had a problem with her. She was out of order.
Yeah.
I get she might have been caught up by the emotion, but she should have kept it to herself.
That's right.
Because I guarantee you, she ain't never reached out to no black man.
Oh, no.
And went over there when he got sentenced and gave him a Bible.
No.
She was wrong. So I understood how people felt about her. But you cannot diminish what this young man did.
Yeah,
That's right.
He did something
And
great.
you can't call him Uncle Tom because he chose to forgive this woman and said, I don't have any hate for you. I pray that you have a better life. You can't do that. We got to learn to separate the issues.
That's right.
That's the problem. We want to lump everything together.
Yeah.
If you're going to be a leader, if you're going to be a man or woman of God, you have a responsibility to the people to lead correctly.
Right.
Don't let your emotions get the best of you. And I'm sorry to say a couple of well-known pastors out there, in my opinion, they let their emotions get the best of them. I understand you're activist and you're mad about the sentence, but separate the sentence from what he did. Don't crucify this young man or any other black man or woman or person, period, who chooses to forgive their aggressor or transgressor. You're going against everything that I believe that the Bible is teaching. Everything. And this is why I'm hot now.
Go ahead.
Now I'm all riled up. And this is why there's so much problem, I believe, in Christianity. Because we're sending these double messages. We're either going to preach love, or we're going to preach hate. You cannot preach them both. If you want people to follow you, Jesus Christ never preached hate. He always preached love. The Bible is consistent about love thy neighbor.
That's right.
That's what the Bible says.
Love
But
thy neighbor.
Right. It didn't say like thy neighbor.
Yeah,
It
love.
didn't say like it. We don't have to like the situation. I did not like what happened. I do not like what's going on. But at the end of the day, you got to find a way to forgive somebody.
Yeah.
And if you can't, I get it. But don't get them bash those who can.
That's right.
And we're sending the wrong message to people. We're sending, and if you are an affluent man or woman, I don't care what position you are, man or woman of God, whoever you are, you have a responsibility to be leading the correct way. Don't keep putting double standards out there. If you can't forgive, I got it. You can't forgive. But don't crucify somebody else who can.
That's right. Just say he's a better person than me.
That's right.
I always say
exactly.
that because, like I said, I always tell people, I'm not there yet.
Right, exactly.
And I'm honest with myself.
Right.
I can't, but I'm not going to criticize him.
Exactly.
Because, like I said, I got to deal with my own self.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
It was more things going on I think, and like you said, it's like the people lumped everything together,
did.
and it shouldn't have been
It
a lumped together
It shouldn't have
type thing. And some of the pastors, okay, it's other things going on inside the country. What about the people that's being hurt inside your community?
Right, exactly.
And you're not speaking out about that.
Right.
So don't go to the most publicized stuff.
Exactly right.
Speak about everything then.
And hey, well, great point, because I'm really getting tired of people who are opportunists.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Pick this.
we'll talk about this subject for a minute while it's hot.
Right.
But when it's not hot anymore, we don't have anything to say about it.
It's off to the next
It's
thing.
off to the next thing. Police brutality is a hot issue, and it's going to be a hot issue until something is done about
That's
it.
right.
And once again, I'm not knocking every police officer, because I know some police officers who are great men and women are doing their job.
Yes.
But for the ones who are not, we got to keep that fire and that attention on the issue. And the fact that you're waiting until somebody else gets shot, and then you'll say something for 2 days, and then you're off again.
Yeah, you're
I don't
off.
need you to improve your intelligence to me.
That's right.
I think because, personally, I think because the news desensitizes by running a continual cycle
Well, we
of
can't
destructive stuff.
See, that's the problem. We can't blame the news for this. You know, we have got so numb.
Yeah, no.
We have.
We have ourselves
And
became
that's the
numb.
key.
Yeah, because
it's not the news.
It's
You
something
'cause
normal.
It's just like you look, if you look outside your neighborhood, and the news don't even report everything.
yeah, I know.
Right.
You got that.
They don't
right.
report everything.
That's right.
So you can look outside your neighbor, go outside your house today, somebody gets shot on your street corner. You know what I'm saying? But people will just walk past it.
Yeah.
I don't know if people should stop. People just walk past it, person be bleeding to death.
Yeah.
Because you know what? We're so used to these things now.
Complacent.
We got to the point where, okay, I see something, I can walk past
Yeah,
it.
it's accepted.
It's accepted. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of things in this world right now, and this is what bothers me the most about this, is that people don't really care about people anymore.
No, they don't.
And it's a shame. And it's people who call themselves the people of love.
But they're not.
But they're not. They're not loving nobody loving nobody nowadays.
Hey,
And I don't care how you say it, because some people is going as far to say, well, the person was out in the street living their life, they got it was cooked to them. No, they
What?
didn't.
No.
Every life is valuable.
That's right.
Because Jesus gives an opportunity to get saved. You shut that person's life down, you've taken that opportunity
That's
away.
right.
You cannot say a person deserves what's happened to them. We all, because if that's the case, then we all, we all got some stuff.
We all
now.
fall short.
And we all fall short. So God gonna start handing out punishment and judgment.
That's
so we
right.
all in
hey,
trouble.
hey, cast the first stone.
Exactly. But the mindset is comes the fact that, they're out there doing what they need to do, they get caught up, that's on them.
Yeah.
Well, that's the wrong attitude.
Right.
The attitude needs to be, we need to try to find a way to give them something else to do. And I'm so sick of these fly-by-night programs, and now we are getting ready for an election and everybody wants to talk, but nobody is talking about the inner city problem.
No,
No.
they won't.
Nobody. They will not.
they
None of
won't.
the presidential candidates are talking about the inner city problem. How are these guns getting to our community?
That's it.
How are they getting here? Because they're not just getting here by themselves. Somebody is allowing these guns to come into our neighborhood.
That's right.
It's plain and simple. Somebody is letting that happen. And until we track that problem down and stop that problem, we're going to continue to lose young men and young women to gun violence.
Well, we'll put this out. What happened to that gun control bill?
Right.
You ain't gonna get that gun control bill.
Yeah. What happened to that gun control bill?
You are entrenching on the rights
That's
of
right.
those people
Listen.
who want the right to bear arms.
That's right.
Let me tell you.
You're never gonna get it.
See, this is the problem with these people.
You're never
with all
gonna get
these
it.
constitutionalist things. Because listen, the Constitution was made when they had muskets.
Right.
And they had to go out there and
Exactly.
shoot some food.
Right.
They had to shoot a deer, bring it in the house,
Right.
skin them, and cook them.
Exactly.
We ain't got that no more.
We don't, right.
Well, they ain't use no AK and all the other stuff either.
Exactly.
They ain't use none of that stuff.
It did
See
not.
that argument is so old and it's so dead.
It is.
It really is.
Yes.
But see, the thing is this though. I can understand if you're defending yourself.
Right.
You got a right to defend yourself.
That's right.
You got a right to defend your house. That's why that menu was there, because
Right.
you had the right
Right.
to defend yourself.
Right.
Because you was out in the wilderness or you were in war. But now it's just all these guns and stuff like that. Ain't no war in America.
Right.
Yes, it is.
Where the war at? It's war on our streets.
On our streets.
But we ain't
It's a
declaring
war
no
in people's minds.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. But we're not declaring war against any of them. We're just not a civil war.
Well, we don't know that yet because some of these people are declaring war. You got the militia groups.
Yeah, but
And
but
they
that-
psychos.
But that's different war. That's hatred.
I know, but still,
That's hatred.
And see, that's the thing though. There's no wars in this country.
It's not.
it's
There's
not.
just nobody. We ain't got the Kurds and the Turks over here.
Right, exactly.
We don't have that here.
But-
But we have a racial tension
That's right.
and
You wanna know why?
bias
You wanna know why?
to a civil war.
Because the 45th said it was good people on both sides.
But see, the thing is,
that's
we're not able to do that.
I can't do it tonight.
I can't do it tonight.
Because my mother always said to me, if you can't say something nice
See, I'm
about a
trying,
person,
but see, but I'm trying to. I'm
But
trying to shoot.
I'm just saying, I'm not sugarcoating it.
right.
See, racism is at an all-time high now because people are not speaking out and saying, "Yo, don't say that,"
Right.
It-
Well,
or,
I'm sorry
or
to
not
interrupt. Go
chastising
ahead.
people.
Racism is not an all-time high. Racism is just more visible.
Yes.
See, there's a difference there.
yeah.
Racism is exactly where it has been. It's that the closet racists have decided to come out the closet now
Yeah, 'cause they
and
feel the
decide
power.
to go, we're here now. You know,
No,
we're here now.
they've been here.
They've been here. We want to be noticed. We want you to let you know now we don't like you.
But I'm gonna give you. But if y'all remember this, the first State of the Union address that President Barack Obama had, white senator from a southern state called him a liar.
Yes, he
Yeah.
did.
That was the start of visible racism.
Yes, it was.
People didn't understand that moment, but that was a pivotal moment.
Yes, it was.
And then you elect a racist. See, See, America. See, you got to understand something. We live inside our houses. We don't come out to see the world.
World, yeah.
But see, this was already. It was set then, and nobody had a chance to say anything. I ain't gotten to see no black leader say why they ain't call him a liar.
Right.
I ain't seen nobody jump up there and say that then.
No,
Right,
they're
yeah.
not.
They did not.
They did not. But now that you got people walking around here without no hoods on their head, walking around looking like you, you understand what I'm saying? They walking around with torches now and walking around talking about killing black people, getting rid of killing the Mexicans,
Yeah.
killing all the races that's not pure white.
Right, exactly.
Now you got a problem with it.
Yeah.
But you never said anything when the president of the United States was
That's
called
right.
a liar.
That's right.
You
They-
never said
And
anything.
they threw the shoe. You lied. Nobody thought that's a good point, Mike. Nobody, and there was no repercussion for that. Because in any other country, they'd have put them in the jail.
Yes, they would have. He'd have been
No, it would have been a
executed.
fist
right.
fight because England,
Yeah.
No.
they fight in Parliament.
No,
Yeah.
they would have took him out. That would have been an Arab country, and he would have threw something at a president or a sitting king. He would have been executed on the spot.
Yes, he would have. Yes, he would have. Because that was that's a very good point. That was the beginning
That was the
of
beginning.
where we are right now.
Right now.
It only takes one person to incite a riot.
That's it.
That's all it takes is one person. That one person, one action has incited, and then you turn around and you put a man in office who you know don't have a clue. And then you have a party. First of all, he was not even a Republican.
That's it. He was
This
a
is what
Democrat for a long
amazing.
time.
He wasn't even a Republican. The Republicans did not even really want to vote for him because they wanted to make sure that Hillary Clinton did not get in, and because they had such disdain for President Obama, we'll take him. And look what we got now. And I don't care how much
circus.
they said, when he gets out of office, they're going to hang him. They just won't do it right now. This whole subpoena shammy, that's what I call it. It's a shammy.
It's a shammy.
Okay? It's a shammy. They are not going to impeach the president while he's in the office. There's going to be a lot of talk about it. It's never going to get that far.
Yeah, it's wasting a lot of
But when
taxpayer
he
dollars.
gets out of office, they're going to go after him. When you say we have got, this is what we were talking about earlier when Eric was here. We need a leader. We need leaders. We don't have, somebody's posted a really comment here. Who was that? You saying something that?
John Macon.
What is he saying?
Love this. As far as the guns get in the wrong hands, who's buying them and are they being documented? I'll bet people bought over 100 guns and sold them in our neighborhoods so
Yeah,
we
definitely.
can be eliminating each other.
That's right, exactly. You see, it's just like the drug thing.
Yeah.
It's just like the crack epidemic. They purposely brought crack to the hood.
That's it.
Purposely.
Purposely.
Let's not act like we don't have no sense here. Crack was purposely brought into the hood.
And
so
what
we
they told us.
Huh?
And what they told us. Just say no.
Just say no.
Just say no.
Just say no.
Now the opioid.
Now the opioid crisis
It's an
is here.
epidemic.
It's an epidemic.
It's an epidemic.
But the people are in jail because they were doing crack. But now you want to have all that. You want to go as far as to set up places where people can go and shoot up drugs. Somebody watched The Wire. That was an episode on The Wire.
Yeah.
Somebody watched The Wire and thought that was a brilliant idea.
Oh, yes, it
Let's
was.
let people go legally shoot up drugs. Are you kidding me? But you couldn't let people legally go somewhere and smoke crack.
What's that thing they call a Hippocratic oath for doctors?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this my take on that. So you tell me you're gonna spend my tax dollars to fund a facility.
That's right.
Somebody so they can some guy can stand over there with Narcan while this man shoot himself up
That's right.
and almost overdose himself, and then you're gonna run over here with Narcan with
Exactly.
which I pay for
Yeah,
with my
$600.
taxes.
$600.
With my taxes.
Exactly.
And you want me to feel like you doing something for me.
Exactly. But then I can't even afford to pay for my prescription
That's right.
medication.
Exactly.
Let's take
Prescriptions
this-
going up. Prescriptions going up next year.
I can't pay for my legal prescription medication.
Yes.
But you're going to give a free drug that costs hundreds of thousands of
$600 a watt.
$600 a watt to a person because they choose to shoot up.
That's it.
Come on.
I don't understand that. What
And look, you ever have a conversation with them, you say, you know that a person just overdosed off of that just a couple of days ago. Man, it's the greatest stuff out here. That's what they tell them. Look, I live 424 East Cambridge Street. I picked up hypodermic needles every morning. Every morning, 6, hypodermic needles. I stopped calling 911 from my cell phone and from my house phone because they was trying to send me the bills for people overdosing on my steps. So I just started walking to the fire station that was a half a block down the street and knocking on the, can you come get this person off my step?
Yeah, but Rick, our thinking.
This ain't no thinking.
The flow is just so scary right now.
Oh.
We got the comments?
Yeah. John said, I didn't read the rest of it. It says, the government should make everyone accountable, require them to present the guns upon request. Yeah, I mean, he actually got a good...
He got a good point, but you got to track him down first.
Yeah,
I'm not going to freely go and present my gun. You know, this
They're
is the
not
problem.
going to do that.
We're not going to do that.
The only guy that really said something about confiscating guns was the guy Beto O'Rourke on that debate.
Yeah.
And he said it because he got tired of people shooting up people in Texas. He said, you know what? I'm sorry, I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm coming to take your guns. I'm sorry. He said it. I'm not going to lie about it. I'm going to take your guns.
Right.
Because you're killing people.
That's right.
But what common sense said, first of all, if you have legislation to have common sense gun control, you can start with that first.
Right, exactly. But we don't even have that.
Then you can get the anti-assault weapon that President Clinton had. You can do that. Did you ever hear anybody in mass shooting when he was in office?
That the Bushes to sign it back legal, made it legal.
They didn't even sign it back. They just let it expire. They didn't even talk about it. It was so quiet, just like they vote for stuff at midnight and we know nothing about it.
Exactly.
all the time.
All the time.
We have all these midnight sessions.
Right, exactly. Well, when did that become a law?
No,
Exactly.
because they stripping your rights and stuff, and they don't want you to know that everything that they telling you is not what they telling you.
Look, they ain't even got C-SPAN on no more. What's they saying? Remember that little channel that would show the Congress and all that? That's how I learned how bills and stuff were formed.
Me too.
Yeah, that's how I watched that. But now they got these people coming in at midnight, these senators and these congressmen. But let me tell you, but it's both parties.
Right,
Yeah.
You got the Democratic Party and the Republican Party are making decisions at midnight while we sleeping.
While we're sleeping. But once again, let's just get back to the cities and the drugs and the guns. Because, and this is why we say all the time, it's election time. And I don't want nobody walking up to me, talking to me about voting for them, and you don't have some kind of proposed solution on how we're going to handle this problem.
That's right.
Because every day that we lose a young black man, boy, girl, woman, child, whatever, and not just black, period,
That's right.
to gun violence, you are snapping somebody's future. And I don't want to play the political game anymore. I'm having such a hard problem with people because nobody is taking this problem to me seriously.
That's right.
Nobody is sitting down. We got City Hall, we got all this stuff, but when was the last time you heard of a meeting where people will come together and have some solutions? Senators, congressmen, governors, and the city of Philadelphia, where I live in Wilmington, although I spent half my life here, Wilmington. It's the problem is all over Chicago. We all have the same problem. These Chicago, Pennsylvania, Wilmington, I'm gonna name those 3 states. We all share the same problem. People are being killed every day. How come we're not getting together and talking across the lines and say, what are we gonna do here? But everybody wants to stand in their own so somebody can say, I have a solution. This is not a time for grandstanding, politicians. This is a time for coming up with a solution. Because what's going to happen is it's going to get a whole lot worse before it gets better.
That's right.
Because nobody is concerned. And this whole idea about giving people drugs and letting them shoot up drugs, that is the most ludicrous thing I have ever heard in my life.
I'm like, and when they talk about it like it's okay.
It's normal.
It's okay. It's normal.
Like
It's normal.
It's okay. Like I said, with this, and I understand it. Like I said, we're numb.
That's right.
We're numb to the violence. We're numb to these drug abusers.
That's right.
But you know what though? You know what we're not numb to? The opioid.
No, we're not. The opioid thing, because now we have an
they
epidemic.
throw all kinds of money.
All kinds of money at that. But we got people sitting in jail because they were doing crack. We talked about the crack addicts and this random down. And don't get me wrong. I'm definitely not defending crack.
No.
I'm not defending any drug, as a matter of fact. But what I'm defending is what I'm concerned about is the unfair treatment.
That's
We
right.
thought- we didn't want to help the black people, the poor people who were strung out on drugs. We didn't want to try to help them. But now, because we got other racists who are out there, the opioids that the doctors were prescribing
Yes.
freely,
Yes.
That's it.
freely,
Yes.
not monitoring it or nothing the law. And then you got people who are shooting up, and you want to for $600 let them shoot up and be there to give them a shot so they don't kill themselves. What about the people who have already died?
That's right.
What about the children who are families of their parents who were strung out on crack? What did we do for them? How did we care for them? How did we try to make their lives better?
We gave the
have
kids,
not.
yeah, we gave the kids diagnosis.
Right,
ADD.
exactly. Let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about ADD. The problem is, and I'm not one to play the race card,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna play it tonight. All six. If we are systematically killing our black people,
That's it.
men and women, we're systematically, and here's the sad part: we're giving them the tools to do it.
That's right.
Because we're putting these guns, we're allowing these guns to be in the hands of young people, just like we're allowing the drugs to still be in the hands of young people. We are still allowing the drugs to come through the city. I don't care what you say. There's got to be, and I don't have the answer. I don't. But I know one darn thing is the drugs are not coming through on their own.
That's right.
Somebody is bringing the drugs into our neighborhoods, and they're giving these young boys no hope whatsoever. And the only thing they think they can do is sell the drugs. And now they think they're a man because I'm sitting here in the corner. You don't have a corner. You don't own that corner.
No.
You don't own this corner. But we are okay with this because the problem is one more dead, but it's one less we have to worry about.
That's right.
And nobody wants to have the, excuse my expression, the balls to say it. But we got people who are in office who are so concerned about getting your vote, but not really concerned about trying to help the issue. There's nobody out there. We need a leader.
Yeah.
That's it.
We need leaders in our community. We need people to stand up and not be postulated. We need to stand up together like, I stand up for an issue. I don't care who solves the problem. I don't need to be the one, but we need to come together. We need male leaders and we need women leaders. If you hold an office and you want to hold the office, there's got to be some solution somewhere. We're tired of this narrative. What's wrong?
My friend John Macon made a good point. He said, I live in Kensington and an officer told officer of the mayor told him to leave people alone that's doing drugs.
See, that's ridiculous.
Now, when I lived down there, I used to get off the train when I used to come from court, right? And it's missionaries coming from all around the country. They giving out sandwiches, they giving out clothes, and they giving out hypodermic needles. And the lady asked me, she said, well, what you think about us giving out? I said, well, you should be giving them out in your own community because
Right.
I'm the one who have to pick them things up every
Exactly.
morning.
Exactly.
Which I never could understand that.
Right.
Why would you give somebody a needle to shoot up?
That's right.
That don't make no
It
sense.
doesn't make no sense at
But you are
all.
church.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That don't make, and you
I didn't
know,
understand it either.
listen, like that doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. It
It's
doesn't. Like,
how you-
how does that help? You are encouraging
You are
somebody.
enabling this person.
You're enabling this
To
person
worship the devil.
Right, to go out there and do their drugs. I get it. Drug addiction is a horrible thing. Once you're addicted,
Yeah,
you're
you're
addicted.
addicted.
I'm not knocking anybody who's addicted to drugs, so please don't take it that way. But what I'm not going to do is sit there and encourage you.
I'm not gonna support your habits.
I'm not going to
That's it.
support your
That's-
habits.
that's my point. I'm not
gonna do
supporting
that.
your habit.
And says I pay taxes.
That's it.
I don't think my tax dollars, and if you think that that's a solution to the problem by letting them go someplace to shoot up and we'll give you drugs so you don't kill yourself, that's the wrong solution.
Like the
Because I can't afford to pay for my prescription drug
That's
medication.
right. Like the methadone clinics.
Right, exactly.
Down inside Kensington. You know, so many people sign petitions not to put them things inside the neighborhood because, for one, you putting them inside basically the wrong neighborhood because they only coming in Kensington to buy the drugs, but they go to Port Richmond and go inside their own community. So don't you think that the methadone clinics belong over there? Because it ain't a bunch of us getting high off it. Well, it is. It's a little few of us, but it's mostly
Right,
Caucasian people
Right.
that love heroin.
Right, exactly.
And it's like, why would you? I'm sitting there talking to the city people like, why would you put this place inside our community? We already watching these zombies walk around.
Exactly. Haven't we had enough? Because between the early 90s and 2000s, what crack did to the black neighborhood and the black community was just horrendous. Horrendous, and trying to recover from that, and we have not fully recovered from that. But the idea now that you've got something else and you think that you're going to help it this way is beyond comprehension to me. But let's move. Let's move on to something else.
Okay.
Let me finish with this.
Okay.
Let me finish with this one. Because when you say the crack, how many generations
Right.
It was effective.
was affected
That's
by
right.
this?
That's right.
Yeah.
And we still suffering in our, like you said, in our communities.
Uh-huh.
Because you got fathers, you got
That's right.
mothers who are strung out on crack,
That's right.
didn't raise their kids.
That's right.
The streets raised their kids, and now we are reaping the harvest
That's right. Exactly.
of this.
That's right. Because now their kids are ironically selling crack.
That's
Yeah.
it.
And that is how their whole that
Cycle
spiral
starts,
effect.
That's it.
And this goes back to my point where we constantly want to blame young people for their behavior,
Yes.
but we're not looking at the root of their behavior.
That's right.
And this is the thing, and I say this all the time. I talk to young people all the time, and if you talk to them, you'll be surprised what they tell you. But if a child has been brought up around drugs and all, and nobody has told him anything better, his natural tendency is going to go in that direction.
That's right.
It is the proven fact. It doesn't take rocket science. I don't need to be a PhD to do that.
Yeah.
But we have not taken the time to stop to count the cost of what all these things have done. And now, and not even talk about the physical, because you got children who are born from crack addict parents
Defects,
who have crack, addiction issues and all. We haven't taken any of that into consideration. It is time that we have real conversation about it. But people don't want to have real conversation about it because it hurts.
Yeah, it does.
It hurts.
True
And I get
first.
it. True first.
We don't want to have a conversation that we gotta show our scars and our ugliness.
Thank you. That's right.
We don't want to have that in America. We don't have that.
Yeah.
Because
we always big and bad.
Because we can't
Handle the truth.
Our
yeah.
failure.
Yeah.
We can't handle our. Because here's the real deal. We've allowed this to go on so long. It is a failure.
Right.
We have failed. We have failed to protect our young people from drugs and guns. It's a failure. I'm sorry, councilman, president, all y'all. It's a failure, and we have to come to terms with that and say we have to do better.
Right.
See, the problem is we don't want to say, "Oops, we slept on this one.
Right.
We didn't get a hold of this when it started." See, if we'd have got a hold on crack cocaine when it first started and stopped it from coming to Philadelphia and all these other states, we would have got this problem. Now we're trying to get a hold on the opioid problem, but this is a little too late now because it's out there now.
Yeah, because now listen. This is the one thing we're gonna get away from the drugs. But now they want the drug companies to pay for it.
That's right.
But listen, when crack was out there, who was we gonna sue? The government.
Exactly.
But you went to war to protect the poppy fields.
What I'm saying though, who's gonna sue? The government.
Right. Now you want to sue the company who makes the drug or opioids, but really they didn't put them in the people's hands.
That's right.
The doctors prescribed them, and I think the doctors see how their responsibility. But here's the real. Once the doctor says I'm not prescribing it anymore, then I'm going to go out in the street and get it myself.
That's right.
And
But
that's
now I'm gonna get something that is
That's
cheaper.
right, exactly.
They'll give me a greater high, and
Exactly.
that's heroin.
So,
Yeah.
let's move on to a little more pleasant subject.
Listen, because I think, because you know what we get riled up about this
That's
because
right.
We see
we're
it.
passionate about people.
Yeah. We
And
see
when you're passionate about people and you see all these people hurting and we don't see anybody doing anything about it,
Right.
that bothers me.
Or talking about it.
Because I get tired of people coming on TV with their same rhetoric, talking
right.
about the same thing what they're going to do, and nobody's doing nothing.
Nothing about it, exactly. And that's my point exactly. Nobody, and well, let me correct myself. Let's go back a little, Mike, because there are some people.
Well,
There are some people who are doing some things about it, but not enough.
right.
Let's put it that way.
Activists in the
There's not enough
neighborhoods,
because I don't
yeah.
want to diminish the work of some good people out here
Right,
in
you got it, right.
Philadelphia who are doing some good work. But we need more because we need more people. You can't do it by yourselves. And every little bit that we can do, if I just do my part, Mike does his part. Hayward, you do your part. We've done something.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, we've become so immune to it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, well, this is the way it is, and we're just going to have to deal with it. Hope is gone from us.
Yeah.
And that's what scares me. We've lost our hope, and so many of us have lost our faith as well. Because once you've been beaten and downtrodden for so long, or put in the same situation for so long, it is inevitable that you're just going to feel defeated.
That's right.
And
you're going to give up.
You're going to give up. And if you, and this I'm going to shift this conversation. If you do not have a spiritual base, the hope and faith is just gone.
That's right.
And this is what the world doesn't want to talk about. This is what the world does not want to deal with, is spirituality. So many of our problems and so many of our solutions, I know for a fact, will be found if we re-identified and reconnected ourselves to God.
That's right.
I don't care. You can argue with me all you want to, but we're not reading our Bible. We're not praying. We're not doing any of that. And the masses that we need to be doing it. There needs to be mass fasting for these problems. You know, fasting and prayer, but we're not doing that because the world has told us now that, you know, God loves everybody, which he does. You can do whatever you want to do. Live your life the way you want to live them, and you're going to go to heaven. There's going to be a lot of people in hell behind that theory. Let me tell you that right now. A lot of people in hell.
There's going to be a lot of people.
A lot of people.
A lot of people.
We have got to get back to, I like to call, we got to get back to basics. See, when I was brought up, and I wasn't brought up in the church, but I was brought up with a sense of values. You know, the woman I consider to be my grandmother, and still to be a sense of values. And even as crazy as I was in my younger years, I would only go but so far.
So far, yeah.
But right now there are no values, and I blame a lot of this not on the media but on television, especially on black television. Because I'm so sick of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, the Real Housewives of this. It's not real.
Yeah.
But we have led our young people to think that this ratchetness is how life really is. And so now you got people on television, these rap videos, flashing all this money, and we think that's the real life.
Yep.
First of all, look, what dollar bills they're flashing in front of you. Let's be real here.
They're probably not even real.
Right, exactly.
Some of the money ain't even real.
Ain't even real. That's what I'm saying. They're not real.
Half of the stuff in the video they don't even own.
It's not. Hard work will always get you further.
That's right.
Hard work, core values. We've got to go back to values. We got to go back to teaching our children values. But unfortunately, as adults, some of us, we got to regain and be taught values ourselves, because we don't have them. Morals are out the window.
Oh, there ain't no such thing as that.
But see, that goes back to what I was saying. You have a generation affected by so many things that we don't even. And I said that, I think the show before this one, I said the problem is there isn't a religion. There's no religion no more.
Right.
Because Muslims are fighting Muslims.
That's right.
Christians are fighting Christians.
That's right.
Jews are fighting Jews.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you don't have those things that were holding at least us together.
Right, exactly.
But because it's a war, everybody's fighting, they're fighting each other.
Exactly.
And see, the thing is this though, and I'm gonna go back to the point you were saying. I'm wearing this around. One thing he said was about us as people, as Christians, we're not praying. The Bible said, "What God heard the cries of the children of Israel."
That's right.
So that does not one person.
That's right.
That's a nation crying out.
Go ahead and preach it, preacher.
You understand what I'm saying? Right. This nation ain't crying out for nothing.
For nothing.
No.
Because we know why. Because everybody's trying to get a dollar.
That's right.
Everybody's, I'm on my grind. I don't care about the next person.
That's
you
right.
know what I'm saying? I got 567,000 members in my church, and I don't care.
I don't care. That's right.
Because you know why? Because it's all about you.
That's right. Exactly.
But you know what, though? It's just like I said. If a nation cries out.
That's right.
If a nation cries out, God's going to hear that.
That's right. Exactly. That's an excellent point, but we're not doing that. And I'm going to take it one step further, because I say this all the time. And this is where we talk about, because our field, Men with Vision, we're all about helping men. The Men with Vision, primary vision is to, first of all, is to lead men back to God or to a relationship with God. It is our belief that if this world is going to stand up and get what we need to get, it's going to take men to do it.
Yes.
And people, you don't understand what's happening here. This isn't a spiritual attack, because every time you take the devil is slick. I got to give it to him. He's going after the one person that he knew God loved. God created man first.
That's right.
That's right.
Ladies, I'm not knocking you, but God created man first with a specific purpose in mind. That purpose was to lead.
That's right.
And because Satan was kicked out of heaven, the one person he's going to is the one that God loved the most, and that's man. So all the attacks that are coming against men, and when I say attacks, I'm talking flesh, because we're given to our flesh. You know, we're grinding, working all the time. All these things have consumed us. And now we have the Me Too movement, and all these other things. And I'm not saying that we haven't done something wrong, but we got to look at the root of how we got here.
That's right.
We got to look at who's pulling our strings. Who's pulling your strings? Who's pulling our strings? And at the end of the day, the devil is pulling some of our strings because we have no sense of spirituality and we have no sense of God. And while the theory is now this is a woman's world, women going for theirs. I'm not knocking that, go for yours, baby. But here's the real deal. The devil ain't messing with y'all. And nobody wants to stop and talk about that. The real is what's going on here is an attack against men. If they could do, because the world is so close down that they could do away with men, they would.
That's right.
I'm going to tell you, there are some theories, if you watch what's going on now all across the world, if some women could do away with the male seat, we'd be out of here. Because I can do it for myself.
That's right.
I'm not knocking it. I'm not knocking women being paid equally. They should be paid equally.
That's right.
I'm not knocking women's intelligence. Women are as smart as men, and even some are even smarter. I'm not knocking that. But what I am saying, and I'm not scared to say it, there are some things that only a man can do.
That's right.
And we have gotten away from that. We have devalued men, and we've let society and the government, and especially the black community, devalue our black men. Because now, you stay home and have just 2 or 3 kids, we'll put you in welfare as long as you keep that man out your house.
Yes, that's
As
crazy.
long as you keep him out. And now we'll promote a black woman in corporate America faster than they'll promote a black man. See, these are the things that are happening that are spiritual that nobody wants to take a look at, because once again, everybody is about themselves.
That's right.
Everybody. And
Everybody.
I'm ashamed to say it, ladies, and nothing against you, but right now, you're all about you.
Yeah.
And you know, we have these conferences, these women's conferences in church, but how many women's conferences are you out there praying for the men? I know y'all need to exalt each other, and I get it, I'm not knocking that, but are you out there praying for the men when you're having your women gathering? Are you doing it because the Bible, God called you Eve. He created you to be a helpmate to us men, and if we can't help ourselves right now, then it's your responsibility to be some kind of help to us.
Yes.
And you can help us by praying. Or are you praying for a man, because we're getting taken out of here every day. We're getting taken out of here.
Or encouraging you to be the leader.
Or encouraging the man to be the leader. Exactly. But go ahead, Mike.
But like you said, they done lost, but they lost the role.
Right, it's like the roles have been reversed now.
They've been reversed. You know what I'm saying? They will hire they'll hire a woman, a minority woman, because they can kill 2 things.
That's right.
Yep.
Two things.
They can, first of all, they can hire a minority, and they will hire the woman.
That's right.
So that checks out two boxes.
That's right, exactly.
Now if they just hired a black man, there's only one
That
box.
was one box. That's right, exactly.
So
And
he's a minority.
He's a minority. And now you bring disparity in the home, because most men, see, black men, you can't get away from it, are proud men.
That's right.
Let's just be real about it. We are very proud men, and it's a hard pill to swallow for a lot of black men and men, period, to have a woman who's in a position that's making more money than him on a position of authority. I'm not saying it's right. It's not right, because honey, if I get married, you make more money than me, so be it. I would be okay with that. But at the end of the day, as long as I'm still made to feel like I'm the head of the household,
That's right.
we've taken a responsibility, and we want to say, well, men are trifling, and men are good. Like, yeah, got you. You're right. We've done some things, but you never say, so you keep blaming brothers for stuff that you allowed to happen.
Right.
You knew the brother was no good when you first talked to him.
That's right.
You knew it. You didn't take the time to see if this guy was about anything, but because your emotions got caught up in him, and then when he turned out to be who he was, now you badmouth him, but you knew it. Hey. So.
Or the thing is, I can change him.
That's right.
I can change him.
That's right.
He goes come around one of these days. 10 years later, he's still in the same situation.
In the same
And listen,
situation.
and you got 3 kids by the guy.
That's right.
And then now you come on TV, come on Facebook and say, "Oh, all men are they no good."
Yeah.
All
That's
stuff
right.
like that, because you know why? Because you're bitter.
That's right.
Because first of all, you was out of order anyway. Because you was probably looking for him,
Right.
not him looking for you.
Yeah.
Exactly, that's right. And see, it's all reversed. But once again now, because according to the world, we don't have to do it God's way. We need to do it our way.
Our way.
That's right.
Because God's way is antiquated. It's an old time thinking. It was back in those biblical days. We don't need to keep ourselves from marriage. We don't need to be married to one person. We don't need to do any of that. We need to live our life, and God's going to bless that. And people are being fooled because what they think is a blessing is actually a curse.
That's it.
And they don't even realize it. So before I preach, let me move on. Because but I'm just so tired of the nonsense because as a people and as all people, we really got to get it together.
Yeah.
We got to get it together.
We got to find, there's so many things that we can fight in common.
That's right.
But we don't want to come and unify on anything because, first of all, we're thinking about what color we are, we're thinking what gender we are, and all this other stuff, but we need to unify on one of these topics.
Exactly.
But if we unify just saving lives,
That's right.
saving lives will cover a whole lot of things.
That's right.
Because then you can talk about the guns, then you can talk about the drugs.
That's
You
right.
can talk about those things because that's saving a life.
That's right.
But
Exactly.
see, Peter gonna get mad at me, Peter. But I'm sorry, we care more about pets than we care about people.
No, go ahead. That's
You
right.
understand what I'm
We do.
saying? We think about Rover more than we think about Joe.
That's right. We do.
Joey out here strung on all kinds of drugs.
That's right.
But you know what? We're gonna have a telethon to save all the pets in the world.
That's right.
Listen, another thing. I'm not anti-pet, but we're gonna raise money to bring all the pets that were washed up
Thank you.
in those areas where it was floods and hurricanes. But we ain't gonna raise no money. That same money could be saving people, bringing them water and
right.
clothing and everything else. See, what kind of thinking we thinking?
We're not coming across
There's
the
no
border.
thinking.
We're not thinking. The people that try to come across the border, oh, you can't come over here.
You can't come over
But
here.
you're going to bring the dogs and the cats over?
We're gonna bring the dogs and the cats.
I'm with you, Mike. I'm not against pets, but let's be real here. Our priorities
That's
are
right.
so askew right now. It's not even funny. I don't know how we got here, and I don't have the time to try to figure it out. But what we need to do is try to figure out how we get from here.
That's right.
Because I believe that time is winding down. So this is what time we got here with?
7:51.
Okay, so this is a message to, because our show is really, we talk, great show tonight, guys, by the way. It's a great show, great show. But men, it's our responsibility. Like, we really got to take up and gird our loins and stand up and be the men that God created us to be. Because if we're going to combat any of these things, and I'm not saying that women can't help, but they they would rather have a man in office who is not qualified than have a woman in office who probably was. When they didn't put Hillary Clinton in office, that was a spite move. That was a pure spite move that says, oh no, we'd rather have this clown in here than have her in here. Which goes to show they don't think that she has the power, women have the power to do that. I'm not saying that they don't. Men, we have really got to stand up and take our rightful place in this earth. We really do, because we are a laughing stock. And now we got the biggest laughing stock sitting in office. Sitting in office representing us, not only the country, but representing us as men. He is a mark on the face of manhood. I don't care how you look at it. When you look at him, if you compare men to him, we're in sad shape. I'm sorry. We got, and the last thing I want to talk about before we go is the fact that a lot of good work is being done. And one of the things that needs to be viable in this election is prison reform. One of the things that we have got to get together, and I'm happy to say, the new governor, I believe, district attorney, Larry Kastner, I'm a fan of his. I am. I don't agree with everything that he's doing, but I'm very fan. I like the direction that he's moving in.
I'm gonna tell you this.
You know he is. He gonna be. Because they're not happy with him.
They haven't with that.
Because anytime you get somebody who's progressive in his thinking, because he is progressive in his thinking, because if I have done a crime and I have paid my time, then I need to come back into society with a clean slate and be entitled to all the things I was entitled to before I went in.
That's right.
That means government loans, school loans, the ability to vote. We've come a long way, but we have so much further to go because part of the problem that we're dealing with is that we send men and women out of prisons and we don't prepare them while they're in prison, and then we castrate them when they get out.
That's right.
We don't give them no help whatsoever. We treat them like that. Much of I was in jail because a petty crime. Now what you're doing is forcing me to go back into the money-making system that is the prisons. I'm not talking about the murderers. I'm not talking about them. But even those, once they've paid their dues, they come back into society, let's see if they're going to be productive. I say this to all you presidential candidates, all you governors, all you councilmen, there are 4 things we're concerned about. Education, spirituality, finances. And I forget, and prison reform. When we work on those things, I'm going to tell you something. We got something going on. Huh? And healthcare. Please.
Please, no, we need that. Listen.
He's got healthcare.
But if we focus on those things right there, I'm going to tell you something. We can solve a lot of the issues that are going on in this world.
But all those things is helping what? Quality of life.
Exactly.
And see, that's the problem. We're not thinking about people's quality of life.
We're not.
Those young women, those young men, those older men or older women who come out of prison, what kind of life they gonna have? We don't ever think about that. But it costs us so much to keep them in prison. Right. It costs less money to have a program that promotes them back into society.
Exactly, that's right.
See, but we always think about we put the wrong things, money in the wrong things.
We do.
We put the money in the prisons, not the programs when they get out of prison.
Exactly.
Like the back to needle thing. We spend money on needles, but we don't spend money on treatment to get these people off drugs.
That's right. We don't.
And it goes back to the doctors. It is always a cycle when you think about it. It always go back to the pharmacy company.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. But see, the whole thing is this though. It's all about what? One common thing. We gotta save lives. Right. We gotta care about lives.
That's right.
All these problems we're having is about the quality of life. But how we save lives? We can come together and think about that. If we don't think about nothing else,
that's right.
We can think about saving lives. How you save lives? Right. First of all, you give people finances to buy fair housing.
That's right.
You give them clean water to drink.
That's right.
You take lead out of their houses.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying?
You
give them
education.
Education. And you give their children a chance to go to college to afford it.
That's right. Exactly.
But see, but nobody think about that. The only thing we're thinking about is this man on TV every day, and he got a curtain. It's a curtain. It's a curtain. And everything behind the curtain is bad.
Exactly.
Say this, Donald. Say this, Donald.
Pulling his strings. Like
I said, but it's just like I said. But no, and I think about this every day. I said, it's like, what is the most common thing that all of us we can agree on? It's like life.
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's not about black. It's not about white.
It's about life.
It's just about the quality of life.
Exactly.
People. How do we care about people? Quality of life.
That's right, Mike. You summed that up really well. You might right your office.
That's all it is.
But it comes down. It's just simple.
Right, it's just simple. But see, but we complicate things.
We do.
We don't listen. There's no more common sense in America.
No, it's not.
Because we wouldn't have none.
We lack it.
Yeah, that's lacking. Because you know why? Because we done got too smart for our own.
We've traded in common sense for book knowledge.
Listen.
And I'm not knocking book knowledge, so please don't get me wrong. Go to school, get your degree. I'm not knocking that. But common sense is, let me tell you something, it's so vital. And then when you put those two things together, now you got something going on.
That's right. And then it goes back to what the Bible says.
Right.
That's why God don't choose all these highly intelligent
That's
people.
Right, exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? He don't choose all those people that think they're bigger and better than everybody else.
That's right.
Because you know why? Because they thinking about themselves.
That's right.
See, because when you don't went through some stuff,
that's right.
You start thinking about, how can I help somebody else? Get out of here.
That's right.
And also, we don't realize that Jesus didn't come to talk to the Pharisees and the Sadducees.
That's it.
He came to talk to common people.
That's
he came
right.
to talk to people working on the farm, fishermen,
That's right.
tax collectors,
That's right.
publicans, bartenders. He did this stuff.
That's right.
And people don't realize that we can't put our trust inside the politics in Washington. We need to put our trust in
ourselves.
God and our communities and building our
like
communities.
the dollar bill says, "In God,
God
we trust."
Yeah, they can try to take that off too.
Oh, they're going to.
They are. They are.
They're going
They
to.
don't take that off too.
They are. That's why
All
the
right.
dollar don't mean nothing.
We're out of time, guys. Guys, this was a great show.
But see, when it goes back, I'm sorry. but I'm sorry, everybody out there. You know, I keep saying I'm sorry, but I'm not really.
No.
But I'm saying, this is what I'm saying. God is coming back soon.
That's right.
He is making his way back.
Yes, he is.
But and to all those people out there who think that they don't need God, you are sadly mistaken.
Sadly.
This world is groaning. The bride of God, God's bride is groaning for him to come back.
That's right.
We got tornadoes, hurricanes, earthquakes. We got rumors of wars and wars happening.
Right, exactly.
The Bible says it is setting itself up.
Yes, it is.
For those who don't believe, you better read the Bible.
That's right.
Because let me tell you something, you are seeing it right in front of you.
That's right.
It's
The
in there.
word is speaking right now.
Yes, it is.
To all those people out there, let me tell you something. This is so simple. And we're going to end with this. You need to know Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior.
Yes, you do.
First of all, you got to understand something. God sent him here for you.
That's right.
He gave his only begotten son.
That's right.
Listen, as the pastor said, he made an investment in you.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
So tonight, to all those out there who want to know Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior,
That's
the
right.
first thing is this. First of all, confess your sins.
That's right.
Say, God, forgive me. You know what I'm saying? That's the biggest thing. We talk about forgiveness. God forgives you when you ask for forgiveness.
Yes, he does.
So God forgive me for what I've done,
That's
all the
right.
sins that I have committed. Then the second thing is believe that he rose Jesus Christ
That's right.
from the dead. From the dead. He's the only man that got up. Everybody else ain't get up.
That's right. Exactly.
This man got up.
That's right.
And he's on the right hand of the Father.
That's right.
Understand that. And the third thing is this. Once you believe, you are saved. You are in the kingdom.
That's right.
You are in the kingdom. And it's just that simple. So it's those who are out there right now who are addicted to all those opioids,
Right.
all the heroin, those who are out there right now who are addicted to violence.
That's right.
Believe this. If you believe in the Lord Jesus Christ,
That's right.
believe in him. He will give you a better option on life.
Yes.
He will give you eternal life.
Right.
And right now, we don't have eternal, people are not thinking about eternal life no more.
That's
We
right.
think about today's life.
That's right.
But let me tell you something. I'm getting ready myself to go to heaven.
That's right.
Because hell is not the place that I want to go to.
Not even
First of all, I don't like heat anyway.
That's right.
I'm going to tell you the truth.
Right.
But I'm going to end with that. And then after you find yourself, and if you come to your senses and come to Jesus Christ,
Right.
the next thing you got to do is find you a Bible teaching church.
That's right.
Let me tell you something. The doctrine is so important today because the word is saving and cutting people
Yes, it is.
and bringing them to Christ.
That's right.
Faith comes by hearing and hearing the word of God.
That's right.
That's the only way you can get faith in this.
That's right.
But you got to understand something. But you got to go to a church that's right.
Right.
Now, if you get yourself saved, after you ask God to forgive you, pray to God and say, God, where do you want me to be planted?
That's right.
Because that's important. This day and age, that's more important than anything right now.
There is.
Because people are preaching nonsense.
That's right. Yes, they are.
Nonsense. But you need to be planted. And I'm going to end with prayer.
But,
Go ahead.
Father, Father God, we come in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ.
Yes, Lord.
Father,
Yes,
we
Lord.
thank you, first of all, as you carried us through this day.
Yes, Lord.
Father God, we thank you for we felt your presence in this studio tonight.
Yes.
Father God, we're here just to do your will, Lord.
Yes.
And
Your
to
will.
lead men and women back to you.
Yes.
Father, we come on behalf of the people right now, Father.
Yes, Father.
Lord, we ask for your grace and mercy
Yes,
for
we
those
do.
who are addicted to drugs,
Yes,
who are
Lord.
addicted to violence,
Yes,
those
Lord.
who need a job,
Yes,
those who are
Yes,
sick
Lord.
in their body,
Yes,
those who have lost hope, Father.
Yes, Yes,
Yes,
we
Lord.
come to you on their behalf. We
In
ask you
the
to cover
name
them
of Jesus.
by the
Yes.
blood of Jesus Christ.
Yes, Lord.
Father, we ask for an outcry of the people that we
Yes,
cry
Lord
out
Jesus.
to you for wisdom and for direction.
Yes.
We rebuke the plan of the
Yes,
enemy
God.
that
Yes,
would
Lord.
cause
Hallelujah.
distraction right now in the name
In the
of
name
Jesus
of
Yes.
Christ.
Jesus.
We plead the blood of Jesus over every male seed right now
Right
Yes,
in
now,
the name
name
of
of
Jesus
Jesus.
Christ. We command Satan to take his hands off of the male seed.
Yes,
Father,
Lord.
protect our men, Father.
Yes,
give
God.
us strength
Yes,
and
Lord.
give us hope, Lord.
Yes, Lord
Call us
Jesus.
back to you, Father,
Yes,
Lord.
Yes, Lord
We pray
Jesus.
for our women who are taking up the steed right
Yes,
now,
Lord
Lord.
Jesus.
We pray for their strength and for their wisdom, God.
Yes,
Lord.
God.
Father, we pray for every person who has lost somebody
Yes, Lord
from
Jesus.
gun violence this year,
Yes,
Father.
Lord
We
Jesus.
pray for their strength right
Yes,
now
Father.
in the name of Jesus
of
Christ.
Jesus.
Father, we ask for a reveal, Father,
Yes,
of
Lord.
how we can solve this problem,
Yes,
Lord.
God.
We ask for true leaders to stand
Yes,
up,
Yes,
Father,
Lord.
Jesus.
to address this problem.
Yes,
Father
God.
God, we pray for all those who are in office, they would seek you
Yes,
for
Lord.
the
Yes.
decisions that need to be made.
Yes,
Yes,
Lord.
Father God, we need you now.
Yes,
Jesus.
Lord.
Your word says if we call on you,
Yes,
you will
Lord.
hear our cry and
Yes.
Yes,
see your
Father.
people.
Yes,
so
God.
Jesus, we're calling on
Yes,
you tonight.
Lord. Hallelujah.
We need you, Jesus.
Yes,
We're
God.
on our behalf.
Yes,
We're
Lord.
in trouble down here.
Yes, Lord
We're in
Jesus.
trouble down
Yes,
here,
Father.
We need you now,
Yes,
Lord.
Lord.
Come see about your people.
Yes, Lord.
Yes,
Come
Lord.
see about your people,
Yes,
Father.
Lord
Yes,
Jesus.
Lord.
Oh, before we go
Yes,
any worse,
God.
Father.
Yes.
Oh, Rashada
Yes, Lord.
Oh, yes, Lord.
Yes, Lord.
Hey, Lord Jesus. Yes,
Yes,
God.
Lord.
Yes,
Oh,
Lord.
God,
Hallelujah.
Yes,
have
Lord.
mercy on us
Yes,
right now,
God.
Father.
Yes.
Have mercy on us now.
Yes.
We trust you, God.
Yes, God.
We lay our cares down before
Yes,
you.
Lord.
Father, guide us to what we can do,
Yes,
Father.
Yes, Lord.
Let each person feel some sense of
Yes,
responsibility
Lord. Yes,
for
Lord.
how we can address this situation,
Yes,
Father.
Yes, Lord.
Jesus.
So we thank you right now,
Right now,
Father.
Lord
Yes.
So we believe that things are going to turn around.
Yes, God.
We're going
Yes.
to do our part, Father.
Yes,
and we're
Yes,
going to
Lord.
trust in you, believe
Yes,
that you will
Lord
bring all
Jesus.
things to pass.
Yes.
Yes,
We
God.
thank you. We pray for traveling mercy as we go home down the
Yes,
highways
Lord.
tonight.
Yes, Lord.
And
Yes,
for
Lord.
safekeeping to everybody that has to be out
Yes,
tonight.
God.
We come against anybody losing their life tonight to
Yes,
gun
Lord
violence.
Jesus.
We rebuke you, Satan, right
Yes,
now.
Lord.
In the
And
name
all
of
your
Jesus.
dominions who work with you.
Yes,
we
Lord.
Yes,
rebuke
Lord.
you, we bind you, and we loose you
Yes,
off of this earth.
Yes.
And we give you all the praise, Father.
Yes,
we
Lord.
give you all the glory.
Yes,
In
God.
Jesus'
Yes.
most precious name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thanks for listening to Men of Vision.
Yes, Lord.
Hopefully,
Jesus.
we'll be back next Monday. Next Tuesday, I'm sorry, at 7 p.m. with another great topic.
Yeah, I think we're going to actually try to get a guest then next Tuesday.
Next
That's
Tuesday?
right.
So we haven't had a guest on in a while. So thank you for joining us. Continue. We have some exciting things we're going to share with you about what we're going to do in 2020. So just continue to follow us for men. Let's just get together.
That's
Yes.
right.
Let's just come against all the nonsense. Let's unify ourselves.
Yes, sir.
I understand we got to grind. I understand we got to work. I'm not knocking that. But let's put something else on our mind. Because if we take care of God's business,
That's
He
right.
will take care of our business.
Yes.
If we do what He needs us to do, He will provide for us. And understand something. There is no guarantee that you're ever going to be wealthy.
That's it.
But if God is supplying your needs,
Yes, sir.
then that's what we need to be
Yes, sir.
concerned with.
Like it says in the Bible, He supplies
He
your
supplies
needs
your
according
needs
to your
according to
riches
riches
and
and
glory.
glory. That's right.
That's right. And I'm going to end with
Go ahead.
somebody said something. How can you help somebody else? This is how you can help somebody else. First of all, pray. Pray for me.
That's right.
And then ask God, how can I help somebody?
That's right.
What actions can I take?
That's right.
What organizations that, ask God to give you direction.
That's right.
Because there's so many people that need help out of here.
Yes.
But sometimes you need God to tell you, this is where I want you to focus in on.
That's
Yeah.
right.
See, because a lot of times we do things in blindness
That's right.
to help. But you know what? If you ask God for wisdom, He is able to give you wisdom.
That's right.
And He will direct you where you need to help people at.
Yes, He will. And one last point. I posted again today, guys. We are still looking for mentors for the Men Division, my brother's keeper mentoring program for men between the ages of 25 and 50.
50.
So if you're interested, just send me an email. We're going to schedule a meeting for all mentors soon. And if you know people in that age group who need to be mentored, it is a way that we can help. Okay? So, Haywood, any final words for the people tonight?
It's been the great topics, and may God keep giving us the wisdom to drop some knowledge on our people.
And be sure to watch the Haywood X's and O's podcast on Monday at what time?
7 p.m.
7 p.m. Mike, you got anything you want to say?
I didn't say enough.
Thank you, everybody. Be safe out there. God bless you. We'll talk to you soon.
I don't want to say no more.
Yeah, we said a lot tonight. It was a great show. I like that free, just talking.
Well, with this one we used to do.
Yeah,
We used to go to the radio station just talk.
just talk.
The first couple of shows we were just talking. We ain't no talking.
It's fun to do it inside the way we doing it. Doing it now.
But like I said, it's just that it's hitting people. It should hit more people.
Yeah, it should.
We should think about how do
Huh?
yeah, it's just people just helping. Think about people's quality of life. All these drugs, these shootings, and neighborhoods. Think about what can we do to improve people's quality of life. That's what we